Happy New Year. Glorious, joyous New Year to you. So, um, I'm here to I'm here to confirm that there has been an extraordinary release of light from the Archangels and Elohim to planet Earth. And so over the course of a 12-year cycle, there is a release of Christ's light, an accelerated energy that's here to help us all, the entire planet, us as individuals, as collectives, to move forward. There is no turning back now. Onwards we go. So, I'm not going to go into huge amounts of specific detail, but if you are interested in getting, far more details, because this knowledge has been passed on released to us through the Ascended Masters, through the Archangels, Archangel Gabriel, and many other Elohim, and all of the masters, they're all a part of this. And so if you want sort of more specific information, I'm pretty sure, go to Kim Michael's channel, and I'm pretty sure he's going to release the specific videos of the dictations that we're given. He's a messenger, and the messengers come through him. And I'm sure he'll be speaking about it too. And he's a more, he's a more down-to-earth sort of speaker than me. But it doesn't matter. Just follow whatever path your life takes you on. That's all I'm saying. And if you want to listen to me, go for it. Good. I've got some stuff to say. So what I want to say is it's like you probably sense it already, but there's been a release of the Christ light upon earth, because it's time. We're ready. We've raised our consciousness enough, and so this light has come through. We're not going into 5D or anything ridiculous like that. The world's going to keep being as it is, and in fact the light is going to disturb a lot. Okay, so when there's any illnesses, or anything like lurking in the dark, or any illnesses, things like that, anything that's not of the Christ, okay, which is balanced and born from love, that stuff's going to be flushed out. So it's going to be flushed out in the world outside, the physical world, and in the collective consciousness, in leaders and so on are going to be doing this, and in ourselves too. So if there's any, and I think really the place to start is to just get to work, if you haven't done so already, really get to work with resolving a lot of your psychology, because already, I've resolved a lot, and I tell you, there's even more, like all these crazy sort of niggling little separate cells are all coming up, but a couple I've been able to dismiss just like that. I'm just like, no, I don't need this, I really don't need this. It's just going to hold me back, and it's been a really easy, just go, off you go, shut the door, out they go. But I'd say, my advice, my suggestion is to really, really tend to your individual psychology, because the more the people who are prepared to take responsibility for themselves do this, it's going to help everyone else move into the transition too. Because for a lot of people who are not spiritually inclined, this is going to be a very challenging time. So we are going to see things could get worse, okay? But keep your eyes on the prize, because just, like in an illness, how you can just get so sick with a flu, with COVID or whatever, and you're just crashing, but, things seem to be getting worse, but, then it just turns around and you come good after that and everything. It's just like, all of the stuff that the body, that the body is not used to bearing. It's time for it to come out. And so you can think of it that like the earth body, you know, it's storing this energy and everything. And it's that energy comes from the collective consciousness minds, okay? It's got to release that energy somehow, sometime, okay? So, you know, events, natural disasters will happen. But the intensity of it depends on how we respond, okay? So if you come from consciousness and just, you know, and if it does affect you, you know what I mean, then to sort of really just sort of look at like, you know, is it really me? Is it really me that's affected by this? Or is it, you know, a memory of cataclysm from the past and, you know, the fear of what might happen? Like, I think it's important just to remember that everything's going to be okay. It'll be okay. Like, you know, if wars sort of seem to intensify, you know, just rather than fighting it and fighting the people who are being drawn into it, rise above that, you know, just rise above that, resolve the fear, and just, you know, keep coming back to that space of balance. That's already sort of what I'm sensing. It's sort of like, you know, no matter what happens in the outer world, some of it could look pretty intense and fearful. Don't go into the big, you know, looking, well, I'd encourage you to stay away from, you know, prophecies and you could even say, yeah, you're giving me a prophecy, Neptune. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's not really a prophecy. I'm not saying what will happen and what won't happen. You know, I'm just saying these are potentials. And this is the knowledge, this is the only knowledge I have, that there is potential for a lot of upheaval. But the only place we have any control, you know, where we can find any stability is within ourselves. So, you know, my suggestion is, and it's what I'm doing, is any of that upheaval that I feel, any tiny little niggling reaction, I'm addressing that within myself straight up, you know. Like, you know, the idea of, you know, the climate and natural disasters happening more, that certainly had an impact on me personally. I just was like, I could see a reaction, and not feeling so worried about it anymore, but I'm not going to ignore that. You know, I'm prepared to sort of look at, like, you know, I can look back to ancient past lives and see, yeah, you know, that comes from like Lemuria. For me, I know for Atlantis, for others, you know, when the cataclysms have happened. So yeah, that's obviously just something slightly unresolved, but I'm pretty sure I can just let that go too. And to just be aware that even though, you know, there's going to be a lot coming up externally and internally, to remember that this light is supporting you in your process. So it's actually going to be easier to address and resolve the issues too. So this is all happening, the release is happening over a 12-year cycle. There'll be another release after that, clearly, but there is no turning back now. So just know that the energy is in place to help you to do this, to help you move through this, to resolve, to transcend, to find peace, and to discover your creativity. I'll save another video where I will talk more about creativity, because, you know, that's the exciting part of all of this, that, you know, we're being called to be creative beings. Oh, don't tell everyone. So, yeah, and really, just one other little suggestion, just really work on your discernment, because, you know, I have no doubt there's going to be a bunch of, you know, 5D New Earth, New Ages, whatever, you know, coming up with, you know, all kinds of out there prophecies. There's going to be a lot of more conspiracy theories and things like that. Cull all of that stuff away, you know, just really work on your discernment, and, you know, just focus on, you know, what's real, where do I feel balance, where do I feel peace, where do I feel the love, you know, where's my heart in response to this. And if you feel unsettled or confused, then let it go. I think that's just an easy rule of thumb. Confusion means, dismiss that, dismiss it. So, happy new 12 years of Christ light on the planet. Onwards and upwards we go.